Baby. It's time to hopefully rinse that taste out of our mouths from the last game. What is up, everybody? And welcome in to the DNVR Pregame Lounge. We're here in the Toyota Lounge, brought to you by Toyota. You guys are talking to us, hanging out with us in the Toyota chat. Do yourself a favor, check out all your Front Range Toyota stores. Whatever kind of Coloradan you are, there's a Toyota vehicle for you. We know that because there are so many Toyota vehicles. And one of the cool parts about this show is there are so many hosts that you never know who's going to be here on any given night. How about a new two-man game, the rare two-man game? I'm Brendan Vogt, and I'm joined by the superstar, Dev, or Duvalier Johnson. Dev, what's up, brother?
I don't know if we've ever had this two game. Maybe one time.
Maybe once.
I think it was one time. I remember it was a new two-man just
Last summer,
dropped.
we had to call Devin for an off day.
Yeah, I remember that. It's been a while.
That's the one where all the comments were like, this is so good, it should just be like this all the time, right?
Yeah,
that's what it
people
said.
were loving it.
People said fire everyone else.
That's what I remember. I don't know if that's true at all, but that's how I choose to remember it. All right, here in the Toyota Lounge, getting ready to watch the Nuggets take on the Golden State Warriors in Ball Arena. We've got Adam Matas at the arena. We'll get you set, but before we get into game notes, how about a housekeeping general game note? Congratulations to former Nugget Paul Millsap, guys. We knew him affectionately here in Denver as Dad. Congratulations on a fantastic career and a retirement that was well-earned, well-deserved, from a guy who, of course, started in Atlanta, where he really made a name for Utah and Atlanta, where he made a name for himself. But ultimately in Denver, we remember him very fondly, Dev. What do you remember most about the Millsap years in Denver?
I feel like Millsap was one of the changes, like to this Nuggets team that we're seeing today. Like he was one of the reiterations of like just becoming like that tough guy team. I feel like he brought that mantra to this squad, and now it's inside of them. I was sad to see him not win a championship with this team. But I do remember, that bubble run, the face-to-face, like how cool that was to see him. So, I mean, Millsap he's a well-respected player in this league, and, I mean, it's finally done after a really good career.
Totally, man. And it was a big contract, so I think deemed at times by people on the outside as an overpay. But in terms of the maturation of the Nuggets, as you put it, he was really here for an important transitional era, and Michael Malone felt the same way. Just really quickly, here's Malone on Millsap. When I saw the news, I reached out and congratulated him on a hell of a career, and he's one of the many examples of a guy that wasn't here for the championship, but was a big part of the championship. He helped build a culture and laid a foundation that ultimately helped us win. So a shout out from Moch to Sap. A shout out from us to Dad, who once left and never came home. We missed you, Dad. Congratulations on retirement. 215 games for the Nuggets. Paul Millsap played, averaged 11.8 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 2.0 assists per game. Now let's get into the game notes for this game that's about to happen. Start with the injury report. Aaron Gordon is going to play, but he was probable with that right calf strain. You can say the same about Peyton Watson, who was probable with an adductor strain. He is going to play. Steph Curry was probable with bilateral knee and patellofemoral pain. I believe he is going to play. I got to double check that. I think Steph is playing. But the big news, Draymond Green is not playing in this game.
Draymond Green, is that a new player? Did he just get drafted?
What did I say?
You said Draymond Green.
Draymond Green.
Yeah, it was wild. I don't know how you did
Green is going to miss this game with left calf tightness. So hopefully a break there for the Denver Nuggets. Without Draymond Green, Steve Kerr says the Warriors will start Stephen Curry, Brandon Podsmitsky, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and Kevon Looney against the Nuggets. Dev, what are your first thoughts here when you hear about that starting lineup and when you hear that Draymond Green will not play in this game?
Well, first off, they were already pretty small, but at least Draymond Green brought that, charisma, and he's just a tenacious defender and player that like brings the best out of his teammates. Now they're missing that piece of them. This is really, Denver should go into this like wanting to blow a team out, like wanting to just go after them and go inside in the paint. This is going to be a smaller squad. They're going to try to get out and run, hoist a lot of three-pointers, kind of what we just saw in the last game. But I really do feel like this is like an interior game where you have to show that you are the stronger team, the bigger team, the better team. So I expect a high dosage of Jokic in this one.
I see what you did there. Yeah, I think so too. And Draymond Green expecting the same thing. I think he said on his podcast. Draymond Green, did I get it right this time?
Yeah.
I think he said, good luck to it's Trace, right, and Kevon in that matchup. On the Nuggets side of things, Aaron Gordon is back to his regular spot in the starting lineup. So regular starters for the Nuggets: Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. Dev, when you look at this matchup here, no Draymond Green, what are some of the first things you think about in terms of how Denver matches up with them and who matches up with who? I assume you want Christian Brown on Steph Curry.
Absolutely. Like, you want to see him defend like one of those smaller guards, and that's going to run, get through screens, and work on that like screen navigation and just trying to get to your spots. I want to see Christian Brown in that type of spot. Without Draymond Green, they also they like to set a lot of screens in him particularly, and he could really pass the ball off of the screens and like he rolls and things like that. So now you don't have that option. Now it's really trying to get through those screens and just make sure that you're being physical with them. So yeah, this is Christian Brown that I expect to be on them. And then when Christian's not in there, this is a Peyton Watson type of game where you see where he is defensively. I feel like in the past there was a lot of Jamal Murray trying to guard Steph Curry. Let Christian Brown get that first crack at it. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Christian Brown's been better in almost every area, than KCP so far this year in direct juxtaposition. One area of improvement, though, for Brown is screen navigation, something that Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was so good at specifically, but also slightly different, as you mentioned, without Draymond Green, who is the world's best moving screen setter and a very, very smart player. So screen navigation will be key. Yeah, we'll see what Christian Brown can do. Hopefully it's a better performance from him in that regard than we've seen. But, Dev, it's not just about one player when it comes to defense and when it comes to guarding the perimeter and screen navigation. Michael Malone had a lot, and I mean a lot, to say about Denver's defensive struggles. Buckle in over there. Get comfortable, because this is going to be a monologue. Here's Michael Malone before the game on Denver's defensive struggles. The last 5 games were 30th in defensive rating, 3rd in offensive rating. As I told our players, we are just not defending well enough, and we're just so disconnected defensively. This is the first time I've seen 5 guys out there. We always say 5 guys on a string covering for each other, and it's been a lot of 5 guys just out there and no one really covering for each other, no one flying around to help each other out. I asked the guys, how can we go from being 8th in defensive efficiency last year, and now in the last 5 games we're 30th, bottom of the barrel? It's great that we're 3rd on offense, but in this league, if you can't defend, you're not going to win. If we can start defending and it starts in transition, then it goes into our paint, we don't rebound at all. Obviously, defending without fouling plays a part in it, but there's so many areas of improvement on that on the floor, and that's got to be the case tonight against the team that we know is capable of putting up big numbers. Reporters on the ground followed up. Is this just effort? Is this focus? What is it about? Malone said, well, sometimes there's effort, but then you just don't have 5 guys playing as one. We wanted to throw some double teams at James Harden the other night, so you put 2 on the ball. But you need 3 other guys behind him flying around and rotating. We just put 2 on the ball, and there was no rotation behind it. So, yeah, it's a little bit of focus, effort, discipline, but what can help all of it is just, and you guys have heard me say this for so long that you're probably tired of hearing me say it, I've always felt that our team was different than others because we played for each other. And lately, we're just playing with each other. For me, there's a huge difference. We got to get back to playing for each other on both ends. That's not just coming down and making a nice pass. If somebody gets beat, I'm there to help them. If I get beat, somebody's got my back. It's those kind of rotations over and over and over again that'll allow you to be a top 10 defense like we were last year. And finally, on what's changed from last year to this year that's allowed that kind of attitude to creep in, He says, well, I think we have too many people that are worried about things like, why am I coming out of the game? How many shots am I getting? How many minutes am I getting? And that trickles down. Me. And that can never be the case. Everyone has to do whatever it takes to win. So that's a long and extensive quote there from Malone about specifically what they need to do better defensively. And I couldn't agree more, man. It just feels like there hasn't really been a game in over a month where all 5 of these guys were trying to play defense at the same time.
Yeah, that is a little bit shocking that it seems like they're moving backwards. There seems to be like a lot of individual agendas that they're trying to, but I love the fact that they're calling it out and calling it out early. You have to get back to the team aspect. And I mean, that was a big thing. Everybody else had individuals in every other team. They had the best player in basketball, but it felt like a team when they won a championship. You have to get back to that. I mean, you have an unselfish superstar as well. So you really should be in that mindset of we all are going to come to work. We're all going to play together, try to get back to that cohesion. And we've talked about it and we've alluded to it in different ways, like, not seeing the beautiful game, not seeing the ball is popping type of games. It does seem like it's sticky at some times. There's not, team defense. It's a lot of individuals out there, and you're not seeing a lot of help side and things like that. So, I'm glad that he called it out, and I want them to get to that. So you have to do that early in the season for sure.
It was interesting how he framed it, right? Because a lot of people are trying to figure out, is it just that they don't care? Is it that they can't do this? They're obviously much better defensively in the second half they are in the first half, and we've seen that before. But it does feel like defensively the playing for each other thing is missing. Like they're just... I mean, Jamal and Mike, for whatever Mike's been better at offensively this year, I think he's been really bad on defense. I think he's been worse than he has the last 2 years. And that, to me, is kind of some of the stuff Malone was talking about. If he misses some shots, he puts his head down. And then Murray, maybe, who's shown short spurts of great energy, but at this tremendous cost of exhaustion, right? He doesn't seem to be in good enough shape to do that for 4 straight quarters. But these guys kind of got to start playing for each other, and it can't just be 2 guys trying to play defense, or they're going to lose against some of these high-octane offenses, especially this Golden State one. By the way, the Nuggets are dead last in 3-point shots per game right now, 30th in the league. And the Warriors are 4th. And I think it's about a 12 attempt advantage per game. So you think about how that Clippers game went, Dev. Like, they came out with they just didn't have much in the first quarter. They didn't play for each other at all. Not much focus, not much energy. And then they fell behind an avalanche of guys that couldn't miss threes. Like, that's going to happen against Golden State if you're not ready to go. And that's where the math problem creeps in, is you spend the rest of the game chasing those threes when you just let shooters get too comfortable too early.
Yeah, I mean, not shooting the 3 ball, like, that was something that we kind of expected heading into the season, but it was more so we didn't expect some guys to be able to shoot the ball.
Right.
It's not about able right now. They're just choosing not to shoot the ball. And guys that do shoot the ball well, Michael Porter Jr. took 1 3-point attempt last game.
Right.
I mean, they didn't play them that well that kept them off of the 3-point line. Christian Brown is shooting the 3 ball well, and that was a question mark heading into the year. Aaron Gordon is shooting the ball pretty well from 3, and that was a question mark heading into the year. Jokic finally has his 3 ball. They're not shooting the 3 ball. So It's like, you talk about the math problem. You talk about the way that teams are playing against them. It's easy to guard a team like that where it's just brute force the entire time. You have to try to shift it, try to make that balance. And other teams, they have elected to go all 3 balls. And the Nuggets are truly struggling with that. And you're going to see that in this game. Like the Warriors, you said, are 4th in the entire league is shooting the 3 ball. You have to learn how to defend the 3 ball, and that's going to take team defense.
Yep.
But also put that on the other end where you're also punishing them, and then you have a 1-2 punch. So, I hope that they get into that a little bit more.
Yeah, because I think that's just part of what's happening in those slow starts is A, their best punch isn't quite as good as it used to be at the end of the game, but B, just more so than ever, mathematically, they're falling behind. And then they have to play perfect basketball to catch up. And that's really hard to do for 2.5 quarters, 2 quarters. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, I think there's a level of when they're focused and they're locked in, they can be much better than we've seen, but they have not been those things consistently enough. Big opportunity tonight to get a big win against a team that started hot, has kind of been moving back towards the pack, and the Nuggets obviously are trying to keep themselves away from that plan. So this is a big game already in the standings. Dev, what are a couple of keys to victory in this game in your mind as you think about Nugs healthy versus the Warriors without Draymond tonight?
Kale, let's pull up my first key to victory in this one.
Wait, were these supposed to be graphics?
Oh, that's on me.
You
Don't
did
worry
not
about it.
tell
Just
me about that.
That's on me.
That's my apology. So yeah, when it comes to like the keys to victory in this one, it's defending that 3-point line. We just saw this team get destroyed truly from the 3-point line. You cannot guard players like that the same ways that they did. James Harden is a threat, but that's how you defended him 5 to 7 years ago. And if you do that to Curry the exact same way, he's going to punish you in the exact same ways. So defending the 3-point line, you have a good defender in Christian Brown. Trust that good defender, and everyone else play strong around him, play good defense around him, but team defense. So I think that's a big key, while also shooting the 3 ball on the other end. And we already talked about that in the last segment.
I like that one. What else do you got for me before I give you mine?
Another one of mine is, feed the big man. Feed the big man, especially in this type of game. They're going to have Looney on him. They're going to have no one else around him to be able to defend. Put the ball in his hands every single time and let him make a choice of if he's going to score or if he's going to kick, because the double team is going to come. So making sure that you get back to that type of brand of basketball, because that opens up the rest of your offense. That gets Jamal going. That gets Michael Porter Jr. shooting the 3 ball well. Christian Brown cutting. If you do that, I feel like it opens up the offense. So, I would do those 2 things.
Yep, I love those. I agree. I had those. Perimeter defense was a big one. Team defense. I had defensive rebounding as well, which is just something that this team is. There are guys like Peyton and Mike who can go up and get rebounds, but they don't box out very well. And whenever Jokic is off the floor, man, they have a hard enough time guarding guys on the perimeter, hard enough time playing connected defense. And then when they give up those incredibly deflating offensive rebounds, it just feels like they don't have that margin for error anymore. So the team defense, get Jokic the ball, defensive rebounding. I think these are the areas they really need to focus in on if they're going to come away with a dub here against the Warriors in Ball Arena. And Dev, I know that you are always the man to turn to when we're turning to Bet365, where it's never ordinary, and we like to fill in our pregame bets.
Yeah, this is a good one. I do like this game. I just feel like there's a lot here, so we can slow it down a bit.
Wait, real quick, our pregame picks are presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code DNVR365. Deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. Get a code in the first 2 months of Altitude Plus, courtesy of Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If someone or someone you know has a gambling problem wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know what? That was a good one. That was a good read right there. The Nuggets come into this game as 5-point favorites. I like this one. You know what I found out pregame, like right before this one?
What's that?
That the Nuggets are not eliminated in the NBA Cup.
Hold on, they're not eliminated?
They're not eliminated yet. You know what they have to do? They have to win by 16 or more.
Oh, so you're saying there's a chance.
You have a -5. This is a good spot to try to blow a team out. I'm going to take the -5. I want them to try to blow. There has to be some other things that happen if they don't win by 16 plus. But why not go for it? Why not try to blow a team out? And also, this is a team that I feel like you can, get yourself going for. I don't expect a blowout just because this, Nuggets team hasn't been playing up to, their standards. But also, if there's a get-right spot, this is a good-right spot for them. So I like the -5.
All right. Yeah, well, we know they're going to try. Well, if they care at all about it, they'll try to go for the score differential, so that should help with the spread. What else are you looking at?
This is a high-scoring game in Vegas's opinion. They have this game at under 237.
Yeah, it's because the Nuggets are playing, so they score and they let you score.
The Warriors don't score as much, though. And also, I just feel like the Nuggets have an idea of how they stop the Warriors or how they slow them down. I expect Denver to try to slow them down. I'm going to go under 237 in this game, which is a bit shocking. We've been going over, and it's been hitting every single time. I don't love this Warriors team, especially without Draymond. He is their soul. He is their heart. He's their engine on this team. And Steph Curry has not been playing well as of late. I'm not sure if you've seen him and LeBron. They've been struggling as of late.
Is it time? Is it happening?
No. No, it's not. But I expect them to not be into this game. I like Denver to score, but not so much Golden State. I'm going to go under 116.5 for the Warriors specifically. I mean, we've already talked about it. I don't expect them to get going. Outside of Curry, you have to make somebody else beat you. You know, they have Buddy Hield, they have Andrew Wiggins, but who else? You have to try to slow them down at different times.
Yeah. You've always, I mean, as long as we've done this show together, you've always, the Warriors without Draymond to you are a different team.
They always play them without Draymond,
That's
too.
true.
The
It does
first time
happen a
that
lot,
they play each other is without Draymond. But yeah, that is that's their soul.
Right.
For the Warriors side of things, I know that Draymond is out. But I mean, Curry's line at 23.5 is that's just not right. It's pretty wild, especially in a high scoring game. We've seen, you know, like older players have Renaissance type games against Denver, where they go back 5 to 7 years, and I expect that. I mean, I just think that line is too low. I think he'll get over 23 points. So pencil him in for 25 or 24 exactly.
Okay.
I'm going to go over 14.5 points for a cum bucket. That's what we call him, and he scores a bunch of points.
Nickname, right?
Kaminga. There's a lot of opportunities. Draymond's not going to be in. He likes to shoot the basketball, and now he's going to get extended minutes. I feel like he gets like 10 shots up even if he only plays 12 minutes. So I expect him to get over 14.5 points.
Which I wouldn't, I mean, the scoring I would hate, but sometimes Kuminga just kind of calls audible and goes rogue on what they're trying to do.
And it messes it up.
It does
you
mess
can
it
get
up
your
a
points,
little
but like you now have ruined like the chemistry that the team has. For the Nuggets side of things, Denver doesn't shoot the three ball well. They haven't even been shooting it. Like Michael Porter Jr., he took 1 3-pointer in the last game. I know they had to look at that. They had to, you know, speak of the fact that, hey, we got to get you to get some threes. He's shooting the mid-range a ton right now, and I don't know what that's about. Like long threes. I think he's going to go over 2.5 3-pointers this one, just because it's like, hey, get as many 3 shots up as you can.
Yeah.
So I expect him to just come out like heavy trying to shoot the 3 ball. I think he also scores a little bit more, and his points are at 16.5, which I feel is way too low for him. If I think the 3 ball is falling today, I think 16.5 is low. He's been getting 18 without getting it. And right now, he's been kind of hunting for that mid-range jumper.
Yeah.
That's been going in right now. I mean, he's shooting the ball. You can put him at the slasher spot. You can put it at the dunker spot because he's finishing well around the rim. I expect him to get 16.5 points.
It does feel like his rolling average right now is more like 18 than 16 in the last few weeks. Yeah.
Christian Brown continued his streak of double figure scoring,
Unreal.
and this should be another game that he gets it going. I'm going to go with our favorite bet. At our favorite number, over 17.5 points plus rebounds. I mean, you could already pencil him in for like the 12 to 14 points.
Yeah,
now it's just getting a couple
time.
of rebounds as well. So I think that this is a Christian Brown type of game. I know the announcers are going to be like gushing over him in this type of game because I think he's going to get out and run and finish around the rim. Let's get a Jamal bet in. This will be a booster.
Oh, please.
Over 5 assists.
Okay.
I mean, you're pushing it down just a little bit, but he's dishing it. Like the scoring isn't there, but I mean, we've asked for this, or people have asked for this for a long time, of him setting the table, setting everyone else up as a guard, and not just only looking for points. He's been getting his assists lately, so I'm going to go with that over.
Yeah, and Jokic just feeding the big man too, so it's a good bet. I like it.
We'll go with a Jokic bet that I feel like it's going to for sure hit. I'll go with Jokic over 12.5 rebounds against a very bad rebounding team.
That feels really low.
Way too low.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody to keep him off of the boards. He's going to get putbacks if he does miss his own shots. We know that they're going to shoot a lot of 3 balls, so there's going to be like a lot of run-at opportunities for him. And also, he's just going to be down there. They don't have a big man that they could extend the plays with. He's going to be around the rim. 12.5 rebounds, way too low. I almost like it like a lock because it's good.
Yeah, it feels like one for
I
sure.
also like the rebounds plus assist with Jokic. I would say a triple-double, but he could stop at 9 assists.
Right.
As we've seen way too many times. That would be brutal. So I'm going to go over 22.5 rebounds plus assists because I think he could have a monster rebounding game or a monster assist game. They're going to have to send the double team as is, so you might as well throw in a triple-double if you want to. I'm not going to go with the triple-double. I'm going to go with the 22.5 rebounds plus assists. Brown is our defensive bet at 1.5 stocks.
Stocks.
Like him in this one. It's at plus money. It's because he hasn't been getting the steals lately. He has to get out and run this time.
All right.
You just have to. And for the lock of the game, Christian Brown rebounds is so damn easy in this one. This is a TNT game. It's a fast-paced game. It's a game that he's going to be going against Curry, where he's coming off of a lot of screens. There's going to be a lot of switches that keep him under the rim. I mean, 4.5 is way too low.
Yeah.
He just had like 8 in the last game. He's been getting about 6, every single time out as of late, and this is a better opportunity. So I'm going to go over 4.5 rebounds for him for sure.
The Christian Brown might be your highest volume bet outside of Jokic.
It's my favorite.
It's your
bet.
favorite bet.
It hits every time.
It
It truly hits every time. Even if he has like not a good like scoring game, he had like 11-7 last game.
Right.
It hit. It's going to hit in different ways. He just gets it in every other way.
He has been producing very, very consistently. And if you do like the triple-double, if you're feeling the triple-double, there is a bet boost option for you up at Bet365, boosted from plus 275 up to plus 300 right now. Nuggets money line, Nuggets to score 120 in the match, Jokic triple-double. I'm going to be honest, plus 300 feels a little low now that I say all of that out loud. But hey, if you're feeling lucky, or if you feel like the Nuggets are lucky tonight, that's available to you at Bet365. Again, please do gamble responsibly. You don't have to play with us, but you're always welcome to. And we'll take a look at those bets, what went down in this game, what we can break down and expect from the Nuggets going forward, all that good stuff in a hopefully winner's lounge here in the Toyota Lounge. Thank you for hanging out in the pregame lounge.
We got some super chats.
Oh, let's hit our super chats before we get out of here. Hashtag shut up and take my money. Vote for you. Maul or MPJ night? We missed you, my guy. It just feels hard to ever pick a Jamal night right now, so I'm going to say MPJ. Big Honey. Sup, babe? I don't like that. Is Gray Mondrine playing tonight? No, he's not. They're both out, actually, so you won't see either of them. DJ Seahawk. Gray Mondrine is now Nuggets' #1 enemy. Vote to GOAT. And everybody skipped Eric. Why does everybody skip me? I'll wait. No Kale. PHX. Is that also Cedric? Why do I ask?
It's just a new Cedric account.
Cedric that has a picture of D-line in it. So that's actually Eric. I know it.
Sorry, that's Eric. So we have Cedric masquerading as Eric. The logical end of society is just there's 3 billion Cedrics, and there's no one else left in the world. All right, well, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be in the winners or losers lounge. Either way, we'll call it a Toyota Lounge after the game. Go Nuggets.
We all silly like the mayor.